Good morning from the Alton Towers Resort, where the sun is shining once again. I tell you what, I am loving this beautiful spring weather that we're getting so far this year. It's fantastic visiting the theme parks. Anyway, down here today because it's actually the 1st of April 2025, April Fool's Day, so I hope you've all had a wonderful day full of lots of jokes and surprises. I'm hoping this one isn't going to be a joke and a surprise though. It's supposed to be the reopening day of Hex, the Legend of the Towers. Obviously it wasn't ready for the start of the season a few weeks ago. Alton Towers have got the ride availability page on their website, and they updated it saying that Hex, the Legend of the Towers, would return today, April the Fool's Day. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. Fingers crossed it is actually going to open. Can you imagine if it gets to 11 o'clock, which is the scheduled time for Hex to open, and they're like, April Fools, and like put a post all over social media. So fingers crossed they don't. Yeah, I'm expecting to get on it today. We are going to head round there now. It's like 10:30. I've just come down Towers Street. It's actually surprisingly busy today for what should be an off-peak day. I mean, it's a 4 o'clock ride close. Yesterday was supposed to be a 4 o'clock, but it was busier than they were expecting, so actually extended till 4:30. It wouldn't surprise me if that happens today. There's a lot of school groups here, a lot of crowds coming in. I think the nice weather has brought more people out than Alton Towers were expecting this week. Like I say, they're expecting it to be an off-peak week ahead of the summer holidays, starting of course over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm going to make my way now round in front of the towers over towards Hex. Well, it's a good sign looking at the Alton Towers app. Hex, the Legend of the Towers, 11 AM through until 4 o'clock. Currently closed, it's 10:33 now as I'm walking down there. So yeah, 25 minutes to go until Hex should be reopening. So yeah, this attraction did have an extensive refurbishment throughout last year. There was issues with it the year before. To be honest, there's been issues for a good few years with Hex, but Alton Towers did spend the money on fixing it, or at least we thought that, and then it just wasn't ready for the start of this season. It actually only operated throughout October last year for about a month at the end of the season. So I think all of us were kind of expecting Hex to be back open for the start of the 2025 season, but obviously it wasn't ready. Maybe they found some more issues that needed resolving or something like that. But still, the good news is it is supposed to open today, as long as it's not a joke. We'll head up there and have a look. Unfortunately, ride availability is not looking the best this morning on the app either. I'll have a little look at that and show you in a second. Now, of course, the opening day was not great when it comes to ride availability. It was really poor, the worst I've ever seen it here at Alton Towers. But luckily, it did get a lot better during the rest of Alton After Dark. I visited many times during the event and had a lovely time. You know, it was really nice being here till 8 o'clock, getting them night rides in, obviously before the clocks changed the other day. Yeah, they had multiple Alton After Darks and it was fantastic. Really good atmosphere. Love seeing the park at night and getting them all important night rides in. And then it seemed like yesterday, a few more occurring issues started to crop up again in terms of ride availability. Here's a look at the moment. Obviously it's like 10:35. Here you can see Galactica, Nemesis Subterra, Oblivion and 13 are all closed and haven't opened yet today. So it seems like it's more of an issue on a morning regarding ride availability than later in the day. Maybe they just haven't got enough techies to go around and sign everything off, because obviously, you know, on a morning, safety checks have to be completed as standard at any theme park, and then get round and get things signed off, and then it gets handed over to rides from the technical team. So maybe it's something to do with that, but yeah, there's clearly a few ride availability issues still. I am glad it got a lot better though. You know, from a few weeks ago, that opening day was very poor, wasn't it? Wasn't great at all. Oh, look at this though. Blue skies of Alton Towers itself. The beautiful ruins here, amazing. And this is what makes Hex really special here at this park, the fact it's based on a local legend. And yeah, it's actually been here at Alton Towers for 25 years now. It opened in year 2000 and based on the legend of the chained oak tree, which is actually a tree that does exist. Literally less than a mile down the road from Alton Towers front gates, you can find the chained oak. And yes, they kind of changed the storyline up a little bit and enhanced it for the ride, but that's what it's all based on. And obviously all the queue line and pre-shows are located within the actual towers themselves, and then you exit through a corridor into a show building that's built directly behind the towers, which makes you think that you're still inside this building, but of course you're not. You're in a different building behind it. Very clever, great design. And just walking up towards the entrance to Hex now, and it's a good sign. I can see a member of staff out the front with a construction helmet on as well, all part of the uniform that they wear on there. Normally I'd be concerned if I see a member of staff out the front of a ride, but yeah, it's not actually open officially yet. Oh, there we go, there's a queue line forming out the front as well. Fantastic. Let's go and see. Yeah, it's a good sign that he's out the front. Can you imagine if it would have been an April Fool's joke? Oh, here we go. Going to be nice to see These big doors open again at Hex, the Legend of the Towers. Always loved how you actually go through the main entrance here to the actual towers themselves. Fantastic, and it really builds it up before you get down onto the ride itself. The pre-shows are a really important part of the Hex experience, and it does look like it's actually going to be opening. They've just opened the gates, 10 minutes to go. Hey, here we go. It's even open 2 minutes early. I'm glad it wasn't an April Fool's joke. Can you imagine if someone had just come down at 11 o'clock and like opened up the doors with a big sign and been like, April Fools? Would have been a bit evil, wouldn't it? It would have been funny though, or if like a big banner had come down like on those, like Happy April Fool's Day from Alton Towers. Yeah, opened at 10:57. Really good. Yeah, obviously it's going to be open daily now from 11 a.m. I do always love all the pictures and the queue line here. Really builds up anticipation. Morning, thank you. Oh, good to be walking up these steps again. Here we go. The gates are open. Or should I say the big doors are open. Into Hex. Hey, there's the big bell. I do like how they have the big curtain up there just to kind of stop a lot of the light leaking in. You don't realise, if you look up in there, look how high it is. Hopefully Hex is going to be a lot more reliable for this season. Obviously it only operated for about a month last year. Feels like we've hardly had rides on it the past couple of years. You know, it's barely been open, so happy to see it back. Shame it wasn't ready for the start of the season a few weeks ago. But it is ready for the Easter holidays, obviously are coming up. It's going to be a busy time for the resort. Obviously I'm not going to be able to film past this point, and the pre-shows are on the ride. But good to see it back. Hex, the Legend of the Towers. I'll see you afterwards. Straight in, first group. Well, there we go. Hex, the Legend of the Towers is now officially back open for 2025 here at the Alton Towers Resort. Great to see the attraction back in operation, especially with it being quite a historical ride now here at the park, with its backstory, the fact it's 25 years old, and the fact that it takes you through parts of the towers themselves, which is a really special experience. Great to see it back open. It's scheduled to open now every day at 11 a.m, so don't miss it when you come here to the park. And also, it's just some more added capacity. They can fit about 70 in every few minutes, which is really good. It often doesn't build up that big of a wait either. So yeah, definitely do it whilst you're down here at this end of the park. It's a really good dark ride experience, and lovely to have it back open. Obviously, the main reason why it was closed last year was there was quite a lot of issues with the drum itself, and obviously that is the Vekoma Madhouse itself, the ride at the end of the Hex experience. And I'm just going to talk about the experience and the pre-shows and everything in just a moment. For those of you that haven't been on it or are unfamiliar with it, maybe you did it years ago and can't remember, but I will just talk about the experience. But yeah, they were that was the main issue, you know, with the actual drum itself, what needed the work. And Alton Towers worked with the manufacturer, Vekoma from the Netherlands, to get that sorted out. Obviously, it only operated for about a month last year, open for Scarefest right at the end of the season. So hopefully they've got them issues sorted out permanently now. And yeah, it's going to be in operation every day from 11 a.m. here at Alton Towers. I did just want to say though that obviously, you know, the main reason it's been having issues for a couple of years is because of the drum. Last year, Alton Towers did decide to make some lighting changes. I'm not going to call them upgrades because I feel like it's downgraded the experience. But they made some changes to the lighting throughout the attraction, especially in the vault itself, the Madhouse at the end. And unfortunately, you know, I mean, I was thinking that this winter they were going to kind of tweak the lighting and get it a bit more realistic again. But yeah, they've not touched the lighting at all over winter. It's still Disco Hex, as I would call it, you know, at the end. And it's still a wonderful experience. It's great to have it back open, but it has lost a lot of that realistic charm now at the end. There's like this mirror ball effect in there, like towards the end of the cycle. Along with that, the actual branch itself is like a fibre optic that's flashing all these different colours now. Yeah, a lot of the lighting is just kind of synced up with the music in places, and then at other points it's just kind of like flashing and doing what it wants to. I was really hoping that this winter they would have sorted that out, and I can completely you know, understand why they wanted to upgrade the lighting to LED. A lot of it before was like older lighting, and you know, obviously you want to upgrade it to LED in this day and age for the costs and just like the overall running of it. However, you know, there's a way to do it, and I feel like, you know, it could have been done a lot more subtle. It has lost quite a lot of its charm and experience in the vault because of that lighting, but still, it's nice to have it back open. The soundtrack's not changed. I love the music in there. It's absolutely fantastic, and of course the experience really builds up before you actually get to the vault itself, which I'm going to talk a bit about now for those of you that don't know. And with the reopening of Hex today, that does also mean that Her Ladyship's Gardens have reopened too. This is one of my favourite spots in the whole park, looking out at the towers. Obviously you've got the chapel on this side here, amazing building. It's always fascinated me ever since I was little, and it really is the location of Alton Towers what makes it so special, set around this beautiful estate. So yeah, we're around the other side now. Obviously this is the main entrance to Hex, just on the side there. Obviously this is where you first come in. When I pointed out the bell a few minutes ago, that's just like where that window is there on the side. And obviously you make your way all through the armory, which is in this part of the building. This is all the queue line down here. It did actually used to be a gift shop. And yeah, I know a lot of you have seen my mum. She still actually works here in some of the shops around the resort, so you may see her. She's worked in retail at Alton Towers for a long time. She actually used to be in this when it was a gift shop back in the day. All the way down there. So yeah, obviously this is all still part of the queue line all the way down here. And obviously you've got the first section, like the first pre-show now, you know, where the stories starts to be explained and you see the big portrait on the wall. That's in this section, the other side of the wall here, before you carry on down into what is the cinema room itself. And yeah, this actually used to be the entrance to Alton Towers back when it was that country estate, that huge stately home, the Shrewsbury family. And yeah, this is where they come in because he wanted that big grand entrance. So where you go in Hex is actually where the Earl and his visitors and family would have walked all the way down here. So yeah, the cinema room's the other side of here, and obviously that's about a 4-minute film, and that explains the story about the ride and the chained oak and the whole kind of backstory of Hex, which is really fascinating. Before you make your way into the Octagon, which is in this room here. Near the Octagon, you got some special effects in there, some strobe lighting and other lighting. I feel like the lighting looks a lot better actually in the queue line. That's a lot more atmospheric and everything than it used to be. It's the vault where the lighting issues seem to be. And yeah, when they opened Hex, obviously it did mean that they did a lot of restoration work to this part of the towers. Like, as you can see with all of this here, if we come down here, this is the exit to the ride. But you can see all the way through there how much of a state that part of the towers is in. Literally all this back part here, the Octagon and everything, was in a really poor state before Hex opened, and they put a roof on it and they completely restored it. They actually put a brand new roof on the roof of the Octagon there on the top of the building. You know, spent a lot of money on that restoration. Obviously you can see how they blocked that in there. Yeah, this is the part where you return back into the towers themselves. The actual ride, the Madhouse itself, is located behind here in its show building. Then obviously they send you out of that metal building, back out through this door, so you're led to believe that the whole experience has took place within the towers. Very clever, I love it. And you also exit through the beautiful conservatories here. Unfortunately, the towers are still all blocked off for access, other than Hex anyway. Obviously, for many years, you could always walk through the towers themselves, and yeah, it was really nice up there on the roof. I'm sure they're going to be bringing back the guided tours this year, but obviously that is like a paid extra thing. You used to be able to just walk around, you know, on your own accord, but I think there was quite a lot of vandalism that was taking place, which is always sad, you know, when people don't like look after things. A piece of history. I do like these barrier covers that they put up here though. Obviously temporary barriers don't look the best, do they? But when they put a cover on, they look a lot better like that. Yeah, gorgeous down here in the Ladyship's Gardens, and they've cut all the grass, and yeah, it's looking great. Yeah, really nice down here. Perfect spot for a picnic, I think. Well, yeah, I'd love to see the towers like obviously open a lot more again in the future. I think it would be great, even if they could just have like one member of staff just patrolling around, you know, in the daytime, just to make sure that, you know, people are respecting the building. You know, I think that would be great to see, because it was a huge part of the history. It really is. A gorgeous day again though, spring. Fantastic. Oh, it's great to just see them doors open again for Hex, the legend of the towers. Yeah, it's got a 5-minute wait at the moment. Like I say, the throughput on there is very good, and it just adds something else down this side of the park, especially with Dark Forest not having any supporting flat rise and just 2 coasters down there, with it being Rita and 13. It's just nice how they've got this here now. I know it's not directly in Dark Forest, but it's close here on Fountain Square, to just add some much needed capacity to this side of the park. Let's have a little look at the queue time, shall we? Seems like things have got a little bit better this afternoon now. Because Alton Manor, 5 minutes, Hex 5, Battle Galleons, that's 5. Oh yeah, all them family attractions looking on 5 minutes, which is pretty good. Have a look over onto the thrill rides here. 15 minutes Subterra, Spinball Wizard 20, Toxicator 20, Nemesis Reborn 20. You got Rita and Wicker Man both on 35. Oh, just updated. 13 is on 40. Oblivion's also on 40. The Smiler 50. And then Galactica's on a temporary pause. Been down for 14 minutes according to ride times. Also, they always take this is unofficial, but they always take the information from the official app, and it gives you like a few facts and things along the way. So yeah, not actually too busy. CBeebies Lamb looking pretty quiet there. Lots of 5 minutes. Just get set go on the 35. Yeah, not too bad at all. You're at Alton Towers, yeah, off-peak weekday. Not as quiet as I was expecting, but still, queue time's a lot quieter than they are at the weekends and will be in the Easter holidays. Hex. Oh, got some people coming out there. Do they not want to experience it? It's a great ride. Go back in. Oh, I think they need the toilet. Yeah, fantastic to have it back though. Let's just hope it lasts. I'd still like to see them make some more changes to the lighting in there though. I've got lots more Alton Towers videos on the way, so stay tuned for these coming up. Tomorrow will be the annual Shops and Merchandise Tour. I'm actually filming that today on the same day as this Hex opening, so yeah, stay tuned for that coming up tomorrow, taking you around all the shops and looking at the 2025 merchandise. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with the merch this year. It's probably the best that I've ever seen it. Like, I think the merch is always great, to be honest, at the Merlin Parks, especially here at Alton Towers. But yeah, looking forward to sharing that one with you all tomorrow. Also coming up later in the week will be the annual menu tour, having a look at the menus around the park, helping you plan your visit and what to eat. Obviously we often bring a packed lunch here to Alton Towers, other than when it's the extended hours. But I will be showing you the menus and kind of sharing my thoughts on a lot of the changes that Aramark have made for this year, the company that run the food here at Alton Towers. Along with that, got a Nemesis behind the scenes tour coming up this week. So we're going to be sharing that with you all, so that's really exciting. Then we've got our trip coming up to the Netherlands. Yeah, lots to look forward to. Thank you, have a good day. Lots of fans here today. Always lovely meeting everyone. And yeah, we've got a Hex behind the scenes tour. That's just gone on sale, and we're going to be doing that as well next month. So stay tuned for that. And whilst I was here today, I just wanted to drop in and give you a little update from CBeebies Land. Yeah, we've heard no further news yet on the new ride for next year. Going to be a new roller coaster for families coming into this area. Rumoured to be Bluey themed. That isn't confirmed yet by the park, but that is certainly the rumour at the moment. And yeah, it looks like Pose and Pat's going to be getting removed for that, and they're also going to be changing the layouts for Get Set Go. Obviously we mentioned back at the Pirate Takeover, I think it was, that it looks like they've done some foundation work down here for changing the layouts. There's been no further updates yet on when that work's going to be done, and also when Pose and Pat's going to close, but I'm sure we're going to hear something in the next couple of months. You know, there's quite a lot of work to do here if you want that ready for the start of next season. So I do expect Pose and Pat to close in the next couple of months. I mean, we'll see what happens with that one, and we'll keep you updated here on the channel. And yeah, this whole area will probably end up with a big construction wall round as they're transforming it. And yeah, I've shared my thoughts quite a bit on that. I'm not really a huge fan of the idea of removing like a tracked ride. I mean, Alton Towers has got plenty of coasters, and we've already got a great junior coaster down in this area, so I do find it a bit surprising that they want to do that, especially when, you know, we need other things. A tracked ride, if Bluey is coming in, personally I'd have just re-themed Postman Pat and kept Get Set Go how it is, you know, and then they could have just yeah, brought a Bluey meet and greet in and had the re-theme of Pat. But we'll keep you updated with everything going on here on the channel. I do think though, looking at the plans for this, it could be a little bit more than we're all expecting. Looking at the layout for this, I'm starting to think the train could be the special element on here instead of just the layout, but we'll see. There's certainly lots going on at Alton Towers at the moment, so keeping you all updated with everything, including the return of the Sky Ride. It's been closed for 2 full seasons. Really looking forward to Sky Ride coming back. And yeah, it's been testing for a while now, and it looked like it was testing more by Poma, the manufacturer. However, I can see Alton Towers staff now up there in the station here on Tower Street, which does of course suggest that it's now been handed over to rides and actual staff training's going on there now. Normally what happens is, you know, you've got the manufacturers that are doing the work and they'll do kind of their testing that they need to, then it'll get handed down to Alton Towers maintenance, followed by ride staff. But yeah, I can see red uniforms up there, so that's a sign that, you know, it's now ride staff that are running the Sky Ride. And still at the time of recording this video, it does say opening April 2025. on the official website on the maintenance page. So we'll see what happens. Obviously Hex open today, Rapids opens next week. Won't be down here for that one because we're away on our trip to the Netherlands, which we're looking forward to. But yeah, we'll come back down after and have a look at the Rapids and see how that's riding. And then hopefully we'll have news on the Sky Ride very soon, fingers crossed. And there's been a lot of testing happening with the Congo River Rapids. Ready for them to reopen next week on the 7th of April. No testing going on today though. I reckon it's all done now and good to go. Looking forward to it. It's probably just that last bit of staff training going on there now. Would have been a nice day for it as well. I do hope that you've enjoyed this vlog as we've been heading around Alton Towers, bringing you the latest updates. There's the monorail. My favourite, that fresh British strawberries, it says on the bottom there. I had strawberries for lunch. It's going to head down now into Forbidden Valley, and yeah, we'll wrap up this vlog. April Fool's Day at Alton Towers. And of course I couldn't come to Alton Towers without coming up here into Forbidden Valley and having a ride on two of my favourites in the park, Nemesis Reborn and Toxicator. I feel like they're a great package to do next to each other. Yeah, I think Nemesis is on 15 minutes. Toxicator single rider I'll probably be on straight away. That single rider queue is brilliant. Oh, 15 minutes, not too bad at all. Just having an awesome ride on Nemesis and also Toxicator. It's bringing me to the end of my visit here to the Alton Towers Resort. Hope you've enjoyed this little update vlog. Great getting back on Hex today as well. And as much as they haven't made any changes to the lighting, I do hope that comes at some point in the future. I know the priority is of course getting the ride operational again from a mechanical point of view, so I'm glad that's been done and hopefully it lasts. But I really hope that now it's open, now that's been done, they just go in even one evening and just reprogramming the lighting on there to make it a lot more realistic and atmospheric, much like it had been for many years here at the Alton Towers Resort. It's been a good day. I've also been filming the merchandise tour. There will be the next video coming up here on Theme Park Worldwide tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Going around all the different shops here in the theme park, including Towers Trading, looking at all the new merchandise. And as I mentioned earlier on, there's some really good new merchandise for this year. Probably the best merch I've ever seen at Alton Towers, which is very promising. So yeah, come and join me for that vlog. And yeah, I've got lots more coming up behind the scenes in Nemesis coming up later this week, which will be a great video. We're on the VIP tour. I'm going to be climbing the lift hill, going in the maintenance shed, having a behind the scenes look at the ride. So that's going to be fantastic. A coaster that I've always loved. So looking forward to that. And so much more. So keep us watching us here on Theme Park Worldwide for all the latest updates. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. And give the videos a big thumbs up. It really helps up the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. That leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. See you all in the next video. Bye everyone.